And hello, one and all, and welcome to my live review for tonight's episode of Monday Night Raw. We're going to be covering what took place on the January 25th edition of Monday Night Raw, and we are officially on the road to WrestleMania 32 in Dallas, Texas. We are only 69 days away from the biggest show of the year. So we're going to take a look at what WWE did tonight on this, which should be a very important edition of Raw, as it begins to lay the framework for what we might eventually see happen at WrestleMania. My overall thoughts on tonight's show, it, there was some stuff that I did enjoy. There was other stuff that was just there. And I'll let you know by the end what grade I'm going to give this show. But let's take a look at what took place tonight. We kicked things off with Vince and Stephanie. They made their way to the ring. Pretty much they bragged and gloated how Roman was unsuccessful in retaining his WWE World Heavyweight Championship. And they went on and on about, how when adversity, when people face adversity in their life, they basically tuck their tail between their legs, and then all they do is complain and whine and moan, and that's exactly what Roman Reigns did. And then Stephanie announced how her husband Triple H, the COO, is the greatest WWE World Heavyweight Champion of all time. He did what nobody thought was going to be possible. And they brought out Triple H, and he made his way to the ring. I kind of liked how he had the title underneath his suit. He went to unbutton, his coat, his jacket, and then there was the title. So Triple H made his way to the ring, and I actually thought he actually cut a pretty good promo here, saying about how Roman Reigns disrespected Vince McMahon and how Vince is a god until his dying breath. And this is a quote. He said he won't allow anybody like Roman Reigns to disrespect his religion, and his religion being the WWE, because he embodies WWE. Triple H, it's been his entire life. He knows nothing besides it. So he was really getting fired up. I thought early on when Vince and Stephanie were out there in the ring, the segment was just kind of really going nowhere. But once Triple H made his way to the ring, made his point in his promo and delivered a really, passionate statement, I liked it. I'm interested to see where they're going with this, because by the end of tonight's show, we do know where they're going with this, but we'll get into that later on in the review. But it was an okay way to start Raw. I mean, the problem is we've seen the Authority and their promos over and over and over again. So when they come out every single week, you do the exact same thing every single week. It doesn't really feel as special as it could be. So I'll say it was an okay way to start the show. After that, well, before I get to that, I have to make note that Stephanie announced that the Authority would be conducting an evaluation of the roster in order to determine the match at the upcoming Fastlane pay-per-view. And that match would determine who would be the number one contender to face Triple H at WrestleMania. And like I said, we found out by the end of the show who would be in that match, but we'll get into that later. As I was saying, the next match, or the first match of the evening, was Dolph Ziggler versus Kevin Owens. Always enjoy seeing these guys wrestle in the ring. They usually have pretty good matches. And this match here was good. Was it their best? Probably not, but it was just a solid match. And the right guy won. It's tough because I want to see Ziggler do so well, but they're really doing nothing with him. And I'm afraid they might never do anything with him of significance. Dolph Ziggler's a really talented guy, but let's be honest, he's been in the mid-card now for a very long time. I mean, ever since he lost that championship to Del Rio at Payback 2013, it's just been a downward spiral for the guy. And I really feel bad for him because he is talented. But Ziggler, Owens defeated Ziggler after Ziggler tried to go for the X Factor, off the top rope. but Owens was able to counter and hit him with his signature pop-up powerbomb. So Owens looking strong, looking dominant. It's good to see. Curious to see where they go with Kevin Owens. Will we see a feud with AJ Styles? Because he did eliminate Styles in the Royal Rumble. Might we see Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens? That's what I would like to see at WrestleMania 32, because I know they could continue to tell that story. That they did so well on NXT, but it remains to be seen where they will go with that. But I was happy to see Owens win. Afterwards, there was a backstage interview with Roman Reigns. Basically, JoJo asked him how does he feel about Vince making the comments that he made earlier. And Reigns basically cut a short, sweet, to the point promo. And I like this. If they would do more of this with Roman Reigns, don't have him go out there and cut 15 to 20-minute promos. That's not his strong suit. Adapt to the guy's strong suits and strongest abilities is the word I'm looking to say. And I feel like that would help him in his overall push. So this promo right here, it basically said that he's here, and he's not going to leave until he hears the announcement for the Fastlane pay-per-view. So that's what Reigns had to say. Then we had a part of the show that I did not like at all. This was just stupid and pointless. It was the Social Outcast. They were in the ring. Basically, they wanted to get the attention of the rapper Flo Rida, because Raw tonight was in Miami, and Flo Rida's from Miami. And basically, they got Flo Rida into the ring, and they had like a rap battle. It was really pointless, and Bo Dallas was rapping, and Flo Rida was really bad, so that went nowhere. And then the Dudley Boys came out, and they had a match with the Social Outcast. So it's just like, what are you doing with the Dudley Boys? I mean, you have this great legendary tag team. You're just having them in these random matches, no rhyme, no reason, no story. It frustrates me because why would you bring them back in the first place if you're just going to do this with them? What about the Dudley Boys versus the Usos, or the Dudley Boys bring up Enzo and Big Cass? I think that could be a tremendous feud. Dudley Boys versus the Usos, or Enzo and Big Cass, excuse me. But they won't, so they just have the Dudley Boys face, the Social Outcast and the Wyatt family over and over and over again. So I just wish they would do more with the Dudley Boys. The winners of the match, let's see, it was the Dudley Boys. They won with the 3D. So we're going to move on from that because things definitely got better. We had AJ Styles, who was making his debut tonight after debuting in the Royal Rumble. This was his Monday Night Raw debut. So it was great seeing AJ Styles. Very surreal to see. Never thought I would see him in WWE, but it was definitely great to have him on this roster. And hopefully there are bigger and better things ahead for AJ Styles. And it was announced earlier in the night that it was going to be AJ Styles versus Chris Jericho. And as soon as I heard that, I was like, that's going to be a really good match. And it was. But before the match, AJ cut a promo in the back. He was getting interviewed. And he said he didn't want to just make headlines. He wanted to turn the WWE universe upside down. Jericho came in. He says he knows who AJ is. And he's been waiting years for AJ to come to WWE. And basically, you get to make an impression tonight, in WWE by facing the 6-time World Heavyweight Champion, Y2J, the Ayatollah of rock and roll, Chris Jericho. And Styles and Jericho went out there and had this was the best match of the night. I mean, it's Chris Jericho versus AJ Styles. What can you say? Very competitive, back and forth match. I mean, there was a point in the match where I thought once Jericho got, the walls of Jericho locked in, that AJ might tap out, but he was able to make it over to the ropes. It looked like AJ was eventually towards the end of the match going to hit the Styles Clash, but Jericho was able to counter into a roll-up for the 2 count. So good back and forth near falls in this match. And then Styles was eventually able to roll Jericho over to get the victory. At the end, AJ extends his hand for Jericho to shake. However, Jericho, he does shake, but then he says something to AJ. He doesn't let go immediately. It was kind of teasing the waters of a Chris Jericho heel turn, which I think would be tremendous We all know Y2J was a tremendous heel, that heel character from 2008 to 2010. Best heel, in my opinion, on the roster at that time. And if he would bring that character, that side of Y2J back, it would be tremendous for Raw and SmackDown, for the main roster, period. So we will see where they go with that, but I like the subtlety of that tease right there. After this match, we had Sasha Banks versus Becky Lynch. Wasn't really much to this match because Charlotte would eventually get involved and cause the interference. And she threw Sasha to the outside and began to attack Becky Lynch. However, Sasha was able to get back into the ring, and she was able to land a series of rights on Charlotte. However, Charlotte eventually hit natural selection on Sasha, and the segment ended with Charlotte standing tall with the title. Really like this segment. Feel like it would set up well for whatever they are going to do with the women at Fastlane. Are we going to see that triple threat match? I would rather them save that match for WrestleMania. Let me know down in the comments section. What do you think they will do with the women at Fastlane? Will we see Sasha Banks versus Charlotte for the women's title? Or will we see Charlotte versus Becky Lynch versus Sasha Banks for the women's championship? And yes, I know it's the Divas, but I don't like that term, so whatever. Excuse me. Then we actually had a really funny backstage segment that I enjoyed. It was Goldust and R-Truth. Basically, Goldust came up to R-Truth, and he said he was looking for a partner. And then R-Truth was like, dude, I'm married. I don't go that way. And, Goldust was like, I wanted you for a tag team partner. So R-Truth pretty much blew him off. But it was a funny segment. I didn't expect it to be funny, but I came out of it laughing. And I feel like a Goldust and R-Truth pairing could be something interesting, could be something funny. Maybe like how Booker T and Goldust was funny as a tag team, a fun tag team back in the day. What do you think about Goldust and R-Truth? As Goldust said, the Golden Truth. Would that be a good tag team? Would you be interested in seeing it? Like I said, I liked the segment. I thought it was funny. Maybe they could have something going there, but it remains to be seen. After this backstage promo, we moved on to this match. It was Bray Wyatt versus Kane. This match, if you've seen Bray Wyatt face Kane before, you've seen this match. The match was nothing special. The crowd was chanting for this guy dressed up as the Macho Man during the match, so that was really the highlight. The match was nothing. I wish they just had Bray go out there and just freaking destroy Kane, but they didn't. They had the match go through a commercial break. The right guy won, Bray Wyatt. He was able to get the victory after hitting the Sister Abigail, and then after the match, Rowan and Harper hit the double choke slam on Kane. So, yeah. Wish they had done more with the Wyatts tonight, but hey, we'll see where they go. We know they're probably on a collision course with the Beast Incarnate, Brock Lesnar, due to them eliminating Brock from the Royal Rumble match. So, hopefully they have better things in store for the Wyatt family in the weeks to follow. And then my favorite segment of the night. So all day, WWE was hyping the return of a major star. And again, I was thinking in my head, will it be Daniel Bryan? Will it be Sting? Will it be Undertaker? And so on. And they have this limo in the back, and Rich Brennan's out there, and he's going to go interview the person that comes out of the limo. And they open the door, and what would you know it? It's The Miz. And I'm like, really? The Miz? I was like, no, something's up here. And then a pickup truck arrives. And then out of that pickup truck comes the most electrifying man in all of entertainment, the People's Champ. That's right. The Rock is back. The Rock returned tonight on Monday Night Raw. He freaking stole the show like only The Rock could do. He was just so hyped up. You could tell he was ready to be there. And The Rock, he was walking around the backstage area, and he ripped on The Miz. Rick Ross was back there. He talked to him. He freaking destroyed Big Show verbally. I mean, it was just great. Him and Lana, great stuff. Rock made his way to the ring, had the crowd, the people in the palm of his hand, only like the Great One can do. And it was a great sight to see The Rock on Monday Night Raw. And then, as he was going through his promo, it was funny. He went to these guys that were dressed up like WWE wrestlers on the outside, and he was like, "I'm going off script here." And he went up to the guy that was dressed like The Undertaker, Hulk Hogan, and Macho Man Randy Savage, and it was just a great moment. I love seeing The Rock there because you never know what you're going to get when The Rock is on Monday Night Raw. And then, just as he was getting back in the ring and talking about WrestleMania, who would come out but New Day Rocks? That's right. The New Day interrupted the Great One. And the New Day and The Rock went back and forth verbally. I mean, The Rock said that it looked like they had llama penises on their heads with the pointed unicorn horns. And then The Rock tried to get the New Day to come into the ring and fight him, but looked like the New Day were going to, just bail on The Rock. But the Usos came out and threw the New Day in the ring. I believe Rock hit a rock bottom on Kofi Kingston, if I'm not mistaken. And then it was just great, to see The Rock there. And I'm interested to see what role he plays at WrestleMania. What do you think The Rock will be doing at WrestleMania? If he could be wrestling a match, will he be in Roman Reigns' corner? But this was definitely the highlight of the night, and I wish, looking back on how the last hour of Raw went, that this was the way you should have closed out the show, because once this was over, you knew there was no way they were going to be able to top this. And from here on out, there really wasn't a way that they were able to top this. After this, we had a match between Brie Bella and Alicia Fox taking on Paige and Natalya. The point of this match was pretty much to promote Total Divas, so there was no reason to really care. There was no story to tell. And the winners were Paige and Natalya after Paige hit the Rampage to Brie, got the victory. Moving on from that, we had Kalisto versus The Miz. Okay match. Like I said, nothing really to say about it other than just glad to see Kalisto pick up the victory over The Miz after he hit Selena Del Sol with the victory. So that was what it was. And then we had our final match of the evening, the main event. It was Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose versus the League of Nations. It was the members of Sheamus and Rusev fighting on behalf of the League of Nations. Match was nothing special at all. I was falling asleep during parts of it. The winners of the match were Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose after Reigns was able to hit the spear, I believe, onto Rusev for the victory. But yeah, the match, not really a great way to end the show. Well, that's not how the show ended, but not a good match to end the show is what I'm looking to say. It was just there, and we've probably seen this match multiple times before, so that's not the important thing, though. The important thing, though, was the announcement that Stephanie made after the match. After the match, Stephanie comes out. She says, basically, that the main event at Fastlane will be a triple threat match between Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns, and Brock Lesnar. Yes, that's right. You heard me correct. There will be a triple threat match to determine who will face Triple H at WrestleMania. That should be a really good match. The problem is, though, it's kind of predictable in a way that Roman Reigns is probably going to win it. I mean, I don't see them doing Brock versus Triple H again. Triple H versus Dean Ambrose, now that would be one hell of a match, but they're probably it's more than guaranteed that it's going to be Roman Reigns versus Triple H. But we should get a really good match for the main event of Fastlane, so it is something that I am looking forward to. Overall, this Raw had its some good, some bad. So overall, it wasn't a terrible episode. It wasn't a great episode, but it was just average. And I would give this episode of Raw a C+. That's great. I'm giving it. So, yeah, that's what I'm giving Raw, the grade for Raw. Let me know down in the comments section below what you all thought of Monday Night Raw. I'd like to get some feedback, get some discussion going. So, yeah, those are my thoughts on tonight's episode of Raw. So thank you all for watching this video. Please click that like and subscribe button for more video content to continue helping this channel grow. Appreciate all the new subs and all the people that watch these videos. Without you, this channel wouldn't be possible. So thank you. And yeah, thank you all for watching, and stay tuned for my next video. And with that, I am out. Peace.